again!
It's over!
He's done it again! Unbelievable!
Oh, straight into the roof of the net.
Nice one.
Straight down the middle. So a good performance.
Hi, you're watching Firstpost. I am Gursheen Garland. Let's get started. Right, so on the show today, we explore why Pakistan is getting mocked for their quote-unquote almost ready Gaddafi stadium in Lahore. The Pakistan Cricket Board, or the PCB, has fallen into their own 10 feet deep trench they introduced to prevent pitch invasion. And with security already a concern ahead of the Champions Trophy, does PCB not trust their own police officers and commandos? Meanwhile, US President Donald Trump has already made some enemies. The NBA world is furious over Trump's import tariffs on Canadian goods. And basketball team Toronto Raptors continued an emerging trend of booing the American national anthem at sporting events in Canada. More on that on the show, but first, let's take a look at the latest headlines in Sports 360. Starting with cricket, India beat England by 150 runs in the final T20 International of the 5-match series. Abhishek Sharma put an all-round show during the match. Sharma first hammered the English bowling by smashing 134 runs off 54 balls. While bowling, the 24-year-old picked 2 wickets to give India a 4-1 series win against the visitors. In tennis, chaos erupted during the Abu Dhabi Open after organizers listed a Russian player as Spanish. Daria Kasatkina was playing under the neutral flag due to Russian athletes being banned from the competing under their own flag following the Ukraine invasion. Kasatkina's team raised the issue, after which the organizers issued an apology. Moving to chess, India's Gukesh Dommaraju suffered his first loss following his World Championship win last year. Gukesh's compatriot Ramesh Babu Pragnananda beat him in sudden death round to win the Tata Steel Masters title. Pragnananda is only the second Indian after Vishwanath Anand to win the title. Over in football, Syria club Udinese's support attacked a train carrying 1,200 fans of rival club Venezia. The incident occurred after Venezia's 2-3 loss against Udinese. 6 were injured after Udinese fans threw stones and flares at the train. 8 people have been arrested for the attack. Meanwhile, Spain's former Football Federation chief Luis Rubiales will go on trial starting today. This for kissing women's footballer Jenny Hermoso without consent at the 2023 Women's World Cup. Rubiales has also been accused of pressuring Hermoso to say the kiss was mutual. Hermoso confronted Rubiales in the court, saying the kiss wasn't consensual. The quest to be crowned champions of cricket is less than 20 days away. The top 8 teams in the cricketing world will battle it out at the ICC Champions Trophy in Pakistan and Dubai. And while the pressure should be on the teams competing, right now it is on the host nation Pakistan, who is facing massive heat before the tournament. The pressure is on the Pakistan Cricket Board, or PCB, to deliver on the long list of promises they made, because this marks the return of an ICC event to the country after nearly 3 decades. And Pakistan is making sure there are no hiccups in it. To give a sneak peek, the PCB has shared a glimpse of their newly renovated Gaddafi Stadium in Lahore. Now letting the visuals speak for themselves. One thing is clear, that even after all the bragging of the almost ready stadium, the visuals show that the situation this moment is otherwise. And the reason behind that is simple. PCB wanted to show that cricketing world that they are ready. They are ready to compete and they are ready to host. Pakistan Cricket Board's chief Mohsin Naqvi even took a cheeky dig at India. And here's what he had to say.
Across the border, there are many people who are trying to find the tiniest flaw in our stadiums and arrangements. We will welcome all the arriving teams and their security and welcome arrangements. The whole of the PCB is working day and night to provide a seamless tournament.
Now, over the last few months, Pakistan has faced a lot of heat due to the unfinished reconstruction work at their stadiums. And while the PCB thought that the visuals of Gaddafi Stadium would put an end to the scrutiny, or even taking a jibe at India would put Pakistan in a better place, the tables have been turned otherwise. Several fans across the internet were quick to spot a 10 feet wide and deep trench separating the stands and ground. And to clarify, Pakistan said that this is to prevent any sort of pitch invasion. But fans noticed everything, and they were quite brutal in mocking PCB's new facility. So while the innovation is designed for both security and drainage, the reason being PCB getting mocked is the emphasis on security measures that they have promised. Pakistan has guaranteed a top-class security management for the Champions Trophy. They have even promised to deploy 17,000 security personnel throughout the tournament. In Lahore itself, the local Punjab government will provide round-the-clock security to visiting teams and players. And in the Gaddafi Stadium, around 7,500 police officers, including special commandos, will be deployed to secure the Lahore Stadium. So despite the intense security in place, why is Pakistan worried about a pitch invasion? Do they not trust their police officers and commandos to handle a full-packed stadium? Now, this seems like the trench isn't the only concern around Lahore's Gaddafi Stadium. The cricket ground is set to host two one-day international matches that are a part of tri-series between Pakistan, New Zealand and South Africa. The matches begin in less than 5 days, and the stadium is not even fully ready. And until date, it is still getting the final touches. The cricket board has already missed two deadlines to finish the renovation, the first deadline being January 25th and the second being February 2nd. And despite missing the deadlines, PCB is feeling proud about the so-called swift completion of the work.
The Gaddafi Stadium will be inaugurated on 7th February by the Prime Minister. It's in its final stages and the last touches are being applied to it. We promised it would be ready by the end of January, and you can all see how close it is to completion.
PCB is hailing the rapid upgrade of the Gaddafi Stadium as a unique record in the world of cricket. But the question is, was there a need for such a last-minute approach? To think that Pakistan was decided as host country 3 years ago and the actual work on these stadiums only began late last year, the country has already invested over 12 billion Pakistani rupees, which is roughly around $42 million in getting the stadiums ready. Yet, they are far from completion. And maybe PCB were hoping for a last-minute miracle. But the question is, should they even brag about the stadiums being 99% ready for the matches? The return of an ICC event is indeed an historic moment for Pakistan. And if they were so concerned and excited to mark the return of an ICC event, should they have started the preparations earlier? And will the hasty approach prove to be a bane for Pakistan? Now that is something that remains to be seen. And it has not even been a month since Donald Trump took charge as the President of the United States of America. And since taking over the Oval Office, the 47th President has already made some enemies. USA's neighbors aren't too happy with Trump's new policies, be it Mexico, Canada, or even Panama for that regard. And the new commander-in-chief is facing severe backlash over the new tariffs imposed on goods from Mexico and Canada. Unfazed by the accusations, the US president has even vowed to retake control of the Panama Canal. This has turned the country to take retaliatory action. And the sporting world isn't devoid of the sentiment either. Fans of the NBA team, Toronto Raptors, booed when the US national anthem was played at a sporting event against the Los Angeles Clippers. And NBA isn't the only league experiencing an anti-America sentiment. The NHL is where it all started. More details in our next report.
New week, new drama. A pattern in Donald Trump's second term as President of the United States. Trump took charge in bold fashion by implementing strong policies to put America first, or as he calls it, to make America great again. But that process has come at a price, which could be friendly ties with America's immediate neighbors, Mexico and Canada. Over the weekend, Donald Trump signed an executive order that imposes 25% tariffs on imports from Canada and Mexico, making both countries furious. And the after effects of which are visible during sporting events too. And just like the consequences of every leader's actions, America too is paying the price for Trump's new order. The American national anthem is being booed at during major sporting events in Canada. Trend that we can see in leagues that have teams from America and Canada. The latest to join voices are NBA's only Canadian side, the Toronto Raptors.
8-year-old Kyra Daniel.
Fans of the Canadian basketball team are upset with Trump. The tariffs seem to have upset the otherwise calm Canadians, and the vocal displeasure from the usually respectful fans has showed the anger among the Canadians. This is not the first time that Trump has faced heat in the NBA world. Trump may have a strong ally when it comes to the NFL, but sadly, the US president is not the most liked figure in the basketball world. During his re-election campaign, LA Lakers forward LeBron James and Golden State Warriors point guard Steph Curry backed Democrat Kamala Harris. Both Curry and LeBron have a long-standing feud with Trump. It all originated with Trump uninviting Curry from visiting the White House in 2017, despite Curry winning the NBA championship as a Golden State Warrior. It is norm for the US president to invite the winning NBA and NFL teams to the White House. Curry refused to meet the president, so Donald Trump in return uninvited him, starting a rivalry with the NBA world. And it's not just the big stars that Trump has managed to upset. Trump targeted the immigrant community in Miami during the presidential debate. He accused the Haitians living in Ohio of eating cats and dogs, a community that is deeply connected to the NBA club Miami Heat. Following Trump's comments, the Heat did not shy away from hitting back at the Republican. So clearly, Trump isn't the most liked figure when it comes to NBA, and the tariff policy would make it even harder for the president to be in the good books of the league. But this time, the anti-America and anti-Trump sentiment isn't just restricted to NBA. The US national anthem was even booed during NHL games. It happened in the Canadian cities of Ottawa, Ontario and Calgary. That too, hours after Trump made the tariff threats a reality over the weekend. Clearly, Trump has managed to ruffle up the whole North American sporting world. That too, with just the swipe of his pen. NBA and NHL fans are booing, NBA players are boycotting the president, but there is a silver lining, and that is the NFL, of course. Oh wait, there is no team from Canada in the NFL to show their frustration. And that may be why the NFL is Trump's strongest ally. Together through thick and thin.
And finally, it's time for Last Serve. Brazil forward Neymar returned to his boyhood club Santos. The footballer was presented to the supporters in an emotional homecoming. Take a look. That's all for today on Firstpost. Thank you for joining us. I am Gursheen Garland and we'll see you right back here tomorrow. Stay informed and stay tuned to Firstpost.
We're calling the show Vantage. We hope you like what we've put together for you. Touted as the minimum two-ways defense from that video. India's neighbors were the first to send the special edition of Vantage live from the White House throughout the biggest Hindu mandir in. We're on our way to Tel Aviv measure, but it's also the perfect way to drive.
I don't think that
Prime Minister of Bhutan, Sherin Tagwe. Welcome to
60% of the world's
office. Prime Minister Modi did the iron. We were actually. What are you doing? How do you like? It's been 1 year since that meeting. Iron bars separate you from the outside. Out the vote effort. Trump had, it says, and at $4.3 trillion, 300 billion by 2030. That's what we need to tackle climate change.